Hey guys, Jamie here from Rugby Renegade, and in today's video we're talking about training diagnosis. So trying to figure out what your one thing is that you need to focus on which will improve your performance as a whole. And the first key thing we need to get across, and it's what we found over the years through looking at data and working with athletes, rugby players, is what differentiates the average to the elite, the semi-pro to the professional, and that is ultimately power. Power and speed. So strength obviously is a factor of that, but you can be a strong player but not powerful, not fast. And ultimately at the top level, it's speed and power which really differentiates. Those players can perform their skills quicker and with more power, getting over the gain line, etc. And ultimately winning those individual battles which add up to a successful team performance. So your training as a whole must be focused on improving your power and speed. And so that's kind of the first sort of issue we see with a lot of rugby players. They focus on other things too much, which you'll see that might be stuff you need to focus on, but with the end goal in mind that you're actually improving your power. So this is kind of a training diagnosis flow chart, which I can't claim is my own, but we use this for players. Actually, got this from Mark Bennett, who I interned under a while back, and it's a real simple way of kind of breaking down the kind of important qualities for rugby, and then how to sort of direct your training based on that. So hopefully my drawing and writing, you can read it and make sense, but I'll kind of take you through it. Basically start here, and then the first assessment is body comp okay? And as we go through these videos, we'll give you kind of targets for those, which will get you kind of looking at what you need to, or where you need to be, and then this will answer these questions. So is body comp okay? If it's not, question is then whether it's muscle mass or percentage body fat. If it's fat, nutrition education, or something like our Leaner for Rugby program, where nutrition education is massive and it gets you leaner. And that's kind of the first thing about this is, yeah, that might seem general and not improving power, but the highest correlation I've seen when looking at loads of testing data with rugby players is the leaner players are faster. It kind of makes sense. If you're carrying a lot of fat mass, which doesn't help you produce force, it's going to slow you down. So we want to be as lean as possible, and of course have as much muscle as possible. So if it's a muscle issue, it's a size issue, you want to follow a hypertrophy program, and these are for a set period until you get to where your own body composition is acceptable. And then we go back round, is body comp okay? Hopefully through these things we've dealt with that. You've either done Leaner for Rugby or Bigger for Rugby, our hypertrophy program. Body comp is okay, yes, then the focus should be max strength. And like I said, max strength isn't everything, but it's a foundational physical quality. If you've got a good level of maximum strength, it'll carry over to other physical qualities like your power, like your speed. In itself, it won't make you strong just on its own, but it's that foundation level. And this is the first kind of gauge we give you so you can assess where your max strength is. And we're just talking lower body now, because from data we've seen in rugby players, the stronger a rugby player's upper body is, the more powerful their upper body is. So we can just keep trying to improve strength with the upper body. Whereas the lower body is different. You can have a really strong player who isn't very powerful, and you can have a really powerful player who isn't that strong. Max strength we've found through working with people and other data we've seen, and this is kind of almost a strength conditioning law that you see through multiple sports, is a double body weight squat. So we're talking relative strength. If you can squat 2 times your body weight for 1 rep in the back squat or box squat, that's kind of enough to improve power. Once you've got to that level, you need to start focusing more on power and things like that. So max strength phase, and then we go on to SSC, stands for stretch shortening cycle. So if that's okay, and we can assess that through plyometric testing and stuff like that. And if you don't have a jump mat, there are apps, iPhone apps now that are coming out which can test your vertical jump and depth jump, and then can give you a kind of reactive strength index from that. So some good measures coming out that amateur athletes can use. If that's not good, again, we want that to be good because we're energy efficient, we're more powerful, we're faster. Go on and do a plyometric focus training, or just increase the intensity of the ply as you're doing. Again, assess. If it's okay, then you then Next thing to assess is your repeated sprint ability, so your endurance, your ability to keep being explosive throughout the game. If that's not okay, we'll then go to an endurance focus. If that is okay, we'll go on to speed focus. And hopefully you can kind of see what we want is to go through, yes, that's okay. Yes, they've got a good max strength base. Yes, they've got good plyometric ability. They've got good repeated sprint ability. So we can spend more time focusing on speed. Endurance, we'll get a lot of that for our rugby training, especially the higher up through the leagues you go, because the intensity will increase. But we want everyone to have that base. So you can probably see it goes from kind of general to specific as we go through. And ultimately, we want to be spending more time on that. So you go through these general ones, tick those boxes off, so you can focus on this. So I guess to sum up, guys, the main thing you want to focus on is improving your speed and power, because that's what separates amateur to professional, average player to the elite. But you still need to get these general training things checked off. And the whole time you need to keep reassessing to see where you are and moving you forward in the right direction, improving your power and speed. So task for today is have a think. You don't have to go and test your 1 RM back squat, but have a think, look back through your training data and kind of figure out where your max strength is. Is that something you need to be focusing, or are you still up here? So kind of look through this and assess where you're at on each different thing, and then you know what you need to be working on next thing before you assess again, and then hopefully move on through the flow chart. So we're getting down, we're spending more time improving our speed. Hope that makes sense. Any questions on it? Hit us up in the comments below, and I'll probably share a few videos which help you understand. I've got one about the force velocity curve to help you understand power and why we train different physical qualities. But any questions, hit us up in the comments below.